And hello, South Florida. Welcome to another live edition of the Real Estate Show, the daily show you listen to for all of your real estate information. We are here live Monday through Friday. That's 5 days a week. 5 days a week at 5 p.m. coming at you 5 different channels on our AM dial 1470, on the FM dial 96.9, 95.3. You can listen to us also on the portable device apps. Just download a free app, the TuneIn app, the iHeartRadio app, the radio.com app, even the WWNN app are another one of the ways that you can listen to our radio show. And you can also listen to us on our website at automaticlandlord.com. That's automaticlandlord.com. Yes, we do stream this show live on automaticlandlord.com. And we also broadcast this on our Facebook Live page. So you can go to facebook.com/The Real Estate Show, all one word, no spaces, no hyphens. The Real Estate Show is what you can find even if you have a Facebook page. And we're there live. Join us there live as we broadcast this show 5 days a week. Get your daily dose of vitamin real estate. And of course, if you miss any one of the shows, you can always go back to our website at automaticlandlord.com. We have every one of our shows archived up at the top of the page. Just click on the real estate, the radio show. If you're there at 5, you can listen to it live. If you're not, you can listen to us on demand, and you can even download the app. The podcast version, and take us with you. So another way, if you happen to miss one of our shows, or if you want a mega dose of the real estate show, just listen to our radio show on Sunday nights, which is the rebroadcast from start to finish, starting at 9 p.m. You can listen to the whole week right then and there. So we got a great show for you. As you know, each and every week, we start off the week on our Mondays on a Mission, where we talk about the theme, the agenda of what we're going to be talking about. And we were talking about this week about you need to be prepared now. We were talking about the evictions that are getting ready to lift the moratoriums. We talked about the foreclosures when those are permitted pretty soon. We talked about the institutional investors that have been getting ready and stockpiling piles and piles of cash ready for that moment to come. We've been talking for the week before. After that, we talked about the REO companies. In fact, today, Tuesday, I was in the room again, and it's kind of interesting. Still, about 490 agents from across the country being trained. This was module number 3 of this REO training course, and for those agents who are interested in learning more about getting trained and being prepared to be one of those REO agents to handle that when the foreclosures are released, then text the word agent to 561-861-2366. Very important. We're now coming up to the halfway mark. There's 8 total modules. Now, we do have recordings of these, so you can still catch up to be certified as an REO agent, real estate owned, which means corporate owned, either by the banks or the institutions that take the mortgages back. When they take them back, they become what's called an REO property. And then once they do get foreclosed, then they're given to an agent who is responsible for managing it, marketing it, and getting paid the real estate commission. So you definitely, if you're in the real estate business, you want to be positioned and certified to be recognized and chosen by one of these companies, the AMCs, the asset management companies that work for the banks. Either way, there's a number of different ways to get in there. But first of all, you got to be certified. We are sponsoring this certification course here, and if you're interested in that, text the word agent to 561-861-2366. So anyway, today is Tuesday, and we were in this class again, the third of 8, almost at the halfway point. and talking about the inspections, determining the occupancy, what you can say, what you cannot say, what you can do, what you absolutely should never do. And we'll bring some of that back into the conversation as well. But this is an ongoing thing, and as I mentioned, the investors are getting prepared. In fact, many of them already are sitting there patiently marking time with their money in hand. You've got the REOs and the banks and the asset management companies. Not only are they prepared like they've never been before. In other words, if you think for a minute that what's coming is going to be another 2008, you are going to miss the boat completely. I promise you that much. And you're going to miss it for a couple of reasons. And we've been talking about that on the air on our show over the last several weeks. And if you want to participate in this, remember my saying, it's not the big that will eat the small. It is the fast that will eat the slow. And to be fast, you must be prepared. And that's what this week's show is all about. And to make the playing field a little bit more fair, this week is really talking about what you should do as an individual, whether you're an individual investor, whether you're an individual homeowner, a distressed homeowner, a tenant, or a landlord. This particular week should be very, very interesting. And what we were starting to do yesterday was set the stage that if you wanted to be an investor, if you ever considered real estate as a business, there has never been a better time than to get prepared for that now. In fact, I'm going to say that if you want to learn a little bit more, a little extra, we've got both a number of reports and a number of workshops now being set up for the investor. And if you're one of those people, then text the word investor. If you want the inside track, including inside lists of properties, text the word investor to 561 861 2366. That's 561 861 2366. And P.S. If you are a first-time home buyer and you've been frustrated because of the lack of inventory, because of the lack of access or speed that you're able to do, then type the word or text the word path home. Path home. If you want the inside path for the first-time home buyer, because we got even a couple of first-time home buyer webinars coming up, and this will be a chance to get a jump on the game and maybe find yourself in a situation without or with a lot less competition, let's just say. So anyway, that's what this week is all about. And as I mentioned on Tuesdays, we wanted to start talking about setting up that biz. Yesterday we talked about laying the groundwork and understanding where we're at in this game right now. And as I mentioned, I think you're looking at about 3 to 6 months when the gates shall open. You can see that a lot of the states are opening up. You see that a lot of the states now are relaxing their restrictions. And so as a result of that, this is the time. So there's a couple of things that you want to have prepared and ready for your business. Number one, of course, and this is more important even in setting up a name. People say, well, should I pick up a name? Shall I reserve a website? And all those things are, I will say, important, but they are not the critical first step there. Number one is you got to take a snapshot picture. Kind of sounds like my conversation at the end of every year when I start talking about getting ready for your annual plan for the next year. You can't jump into this business seriously and think that you're going to have a fair chance or a big chance or a good chance if you haven't done a little bit of homework, a little bit of preparation, and a little bit of planning. And I don't really mean a little bit. I mean, you got to do this. You got to have a good idea. What is your budget for this? What is your personal budget? What is your business budget? Then you want to start creating a roster, what I call the team roster. Who am I going to need for this project? You know that I am a big fan of outsourcing, virtual assistants, and having different people out there that pick up certain responsibilities that are specialized in certain areas. Well, even when you're a real estate investor, you want to build a team around yourself, right? There's certain people, certain roles that you want to have already picked out. For example, if you're not a real estate agent right now, and even if you are, you may want to have one, two, or three different real estate agents on your team already searching for what you're looking for. They may be three different agents by price range. They may be three different agents by different geographical areas, but find the ones that know their stuff and enroll them as being part of your team and be ready to perform when they deliver. You want to have financing in place. That may mean a standard conventional mortgage broker, a hard money lender, or a private lender out there, so that when the deals come, and they will come, and when they come, they will come fast and furious, that you know exactly who to tap and how to get the money in order to be able to take advantage of that deal. Otherwise, you will lose that deal. In many cases, if you can't perform, you may lose that lead source that got you that deal as well. The team roster, you want to have title companies, you want to have lawyers on your team. So I'll come back into the whole conversation about the team roster a little bit more, but building your team before you go out there, building this thing on the fly could be a big mistake. And again, if you can't perform and when it comes time to buy the property, your sources of leads will dry up. And one of the hardest parts of this business is getting the sources of leads. And I'm going to talk about that. A couple of other things you want to have, obviously, is as a contract, right? You better understand your contract. And in fact, in our situation, we really have at least two different types of contracts that we want to have on with us. I happen to carry these contracts right on my iPad, so I always have it with me. So whether I'm out looking at a property, out and about, I have the ability to draw up that contract, both my state contract, that's one. The state board of realtors is one that most realtors are familiar with. And if you want to take away one path of friction, is when you bring some of these cockamamie contracts that you get from the latest in and out of town guru who says that my contract is built specifically for investing. It's also built specifically for alienating real estate agents that have never seen that contract. It's built for specifically alienating certain buyers, especially experienced sellers, when they see that this is a highly tilted contract. It's a lot easier. Let me tell you, and this is one of the things we talk about, is that we can customize the state contract to say and do exactly what these, fly by night, in and out of town guys will promote in their courses, and achieve the same thing, and yet have familiarity and acceptance, which is the key right there, right? Acceptance by the local people if they see a contract that they know that they're familiar with. And so that's key. So that's the main one. So, and whenever there is a real estate agent involved in the deal, whether they're on the listing side or whether they're on your side, on the buyer side, the state contract is the one to use. Whenever it's person to person, then you can use a variation of the contract. But if it's a standard deal, use the in Florida it's the FAR bar, in California it's the CAR. So it's usually whatever the first letter of the state association of realtors, and that's the main contract. However, here's another little special tip and a tool, is to have a one maximum 2-page, because these, even the as is contract in Florida is like 11 pages. So if you had, imagine, and especially when you're dealing with more senior kind of old timers when in the business, they're more concerned where they can look you in the eye and trust you. And so a 1-page contract, and if you have a 1-page contract, and a lot of times that is just as good. And there's 2 scenarios with the 1-page contract. That's with and without the earnest money deposit. And it's not that you don't have an earnest money deposit, because you need considerable or consideration in order for the contract to be valid, but is what I call a real deposit or a throwaway deposit with the one-page contract. So you see there's some intricacies there. And that's why, in addition to having your budget, your business plan, and your set of contracts and your team, there's some preparation that goes in there. Because imagine if I'm up against the average person out there that doesn't have those resources or those tools, can they be as nimble and agile? Can they be as thorough and confident if they don't already have that minimum, what I call my business in a box, already prepared? Anyway, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break here. A few words from our sponsor. We're going to continue talking about building your business. These are the tools. These are the tips. These are the techniques for our Tools, Tips, and Techniques Tuesday. And we'll be right back right after these words. Boom. Leslie, Jose, Sheila, and John. Let's see, we got a whole list here going, man. How you guys doing today? The Real Estate Show is live. And it's funny because the Facebook metrics now, they defy all understanding. It'll say that I have live with one person, but a list of 6 people. Sometimes I'll see a whole long list of people, and then it'll suddenly stop when I know there's others that are on there. So, but say hi, give us a thumbs up there. Definitely make a comment. If you have a question, feel free to answer it right there. And welcome back. For those of you just joining us here on The Real Estate Show, my name is Eric Willner. I am your host here on The Real Estate Show, America's longest running daily radio show. Now we just passed our 22nd year here on the air, and we're heading for a whole bunch, many more. And we're also South Florida's #1 show about real estate. We're here to help the local folks here in the South Florida area. But as this show has grown over the years, from its very humble single AM station beginnings back in 1999 to going on the FM station, and then to live streaming, and then live streaming on the internet, of course, then the barriers and the boundaries went away. Today we have listeners from literally coast to coast, and even across the ocean, in South America, in Europe, Asia, North America, even north of the border in Canada, and certainly, as I mentioned, south of the border. So, and now with things like iHeartRadio, the apps, and Facebook, of course, the boundaries are no longer just where our local radio station broadcasts. But our goal originally was to educate and empower local investors on how to buy real estate. You know, the shirt right here. In fact, that's kind of a cool little button I was showing off here before on our Facebook page. This is one of the things that we talk about. You know, over 21 years in the mortgage business, we were talking about finding the best mortgage products, which goes hand in hand with today's conversation. But we started a group called Income for Life, and the idea here was to, how do you create real estate to be as simple as owning and buying a CD, only 10 times the return that you get from a CD. And that's what we set out to do. And we were very successful in showing investors and making them feel very comfortable and confident that we knew how to find the right properties. We knew how to do the analysis on the properties so that they would be income generating, profitable properties. Then we added the financing piece to that, so that we got the best mortgages to create the best financing and cash flow for the properties. And what was the next #1 objection was, well, what if the tenants call me in the middle of the night? What if the toilets get stopped up? They lock themselves out. The kid stuffs a teddy bear down the toilet. All the things that, quite frankly, almost never happen. And as a result of that, we added sort of our little one-stop package of offering the properties, the guidance, the coaching, the financing, and the management, all in one pretty little package. And that's what gave the real estate show really its momentum to continue. And through good times, through bad times, through the recessions, up and down markets of the real estate market, through the Great Recession of 2008, and believe me, it was tough for everybody all around. But because of the automatic landlord system, and because of knowing when to hold them, when to fold them, when to fight, when to stick, and having had, of course, cash flow first. Cash flow is the name of the game. It is the priority. And so if you do those things, you'll last a long time. If you don't do those things, it can become very difficult and very painful. So that whole led to this radio show going on. Our mission has been to educate, empower more people to own a piece of the American dream, particularly as cash flow producing properties. You won't get better information than you will here. You won't pay $40,000-$50,000 for some of these expensive coaching programs, and so we started getting requests of going all over the country. And literally, I would fly and spend 2 days. And after a while, I learned that you could literally blindfold me, drop me in the city of your choice. And with the tools that we had developed in the landlord system, I could spin up a real estate investing business literally in about 48 hours. Now, of course, you're not going to be closing deals in 48 hours, although it's possible. But what it certainly will is set up the business. And that's why I was this week kind of giving away the store, if you will, showing you what I do to prepare the clients before we had that 2-day visit, that 2-day intensive coaching. And so before I got there, they prepared that, the budget, the personal budget, the business budget, so they understand that there should be a bit of a Chinese wall in between the two, because that's part of knowing when to hold them, when to fold them. Because of having those budget pieces and that clarity, right? For me, it was very easy to look at somebody else's numbers, and I can tell you the different steps of the playing game of when is it time, to invest the initial startup cost, when is it time to key up the marketing, when is it time, because I get this question all the time, how do I know when I should keep the property and when I should have to sell them to continue to build up my cash? I can tell you that very clearly if you take those steps that I just outlined for you. And then, like I said, or in the first part of the program, setting up the right paperwork that you need to have in order to get out there and do your thing. So that's our Tuesdays Tools and Techniques, Tips and Techniques edition of the Real Estate Show. Remember, this show is recorded. It's available for you about 24 hours later on our website at automaticlandlord.com. It'll be, of course, up on our Facebook page as well. But if you want to get more information about this, text the word investor to 561-861-2366. That's investor if you want to learn how to invest. If you heard me in the first part about agent, text the word agent to 561-861-2366. Well, that's it for today. This is your host, Eric Willner, signing off for The Real Estate Show. We'll be back again, same place, same places, same time tomorrow. Until then, drive safe, wash those hands, and make it a great day. Bye-bye. As they say in Germany, tschüss. Thank you, Pierre.